Discussion on the payment of zakat on gold, silver, urid, merchandise, and debts. Zakat on gold and silver. When gold and silver reach the Nisab, minimum threshold, amount, zakat becomes obligatory, Wajib, on them. The Nisab for gold is 20 mithqals, approximate 85 grams, and for silver it is 200 dirhams, approximate 595 grams. Therefore, a person who owns the Nisab of gold and silver shall give 1 part out of every 40 parts as zakat. Hence, half a mithqal, approximate 2.125 grams, of gold must be provided from 20 mithqals and 5 dirhams, approximate 15 grams, of silver must be provided from 200 dirhams. If the gold portion is greater in an alloy, the mixture will be considered pure gold, and if the silver portion is greater, the mixture will be considered pure silver. If the alloy content is higher, the mixed gold and silver will be treated under the ruling of general goods/furniture, asbab. According to Imam Abu Hanifa, rahmatullahi alayhi, whatever exceeds the Nisab, there is no zakat on it until it reaches 1/5 of the Nisab. According to Imam Abu Yusuf and Imam Muhammad, rahmatullahi alayhima, whatever exceeds the Nisab, 1 part out of 40 parts will be obligatory on it, regardless of whether the excess amount reaches 1/5 of the Nisab or not. The fatwa is according to their opinion. If the owners of the Nisab wish to pay the zakat of gold and silver by weighing and giving pieces of gold and silver, they may do so. If they wish to calculate the value of the zakat amount in current currency and pay it in the city's prevailing currency, they may also do that. Again, if they wish to give any furniture/goods, or items sold by volume, kale, or items sold by weight in exchange for the zakat value of gold and silver, they may also do so. Zakat on urid, merchandise. Everything other than gold, silver, and domestic animals is arad. In Arabic, arad is a singular word, its plural is urid. The meaning of the word arad is land, soil, earth, ground, etc. Therefore, literally, urid means lands or earths. However, in the terminology of Islamic Shariah, the zakat of urid refers to giving zakat on crops produced from land or ground, such as paddy, wheat, barley, millet, corn, etc. Zakat becomes obligatory on items produced from urid subject to the following conditions. 1. Intention of business by the owner regarding the urid. 2. The value of the business urid reaching the Nisab of gold or silver. That is, the value of the business urid being equal to the value of 20 mithqals of gold or 200 dirhams of silver. 3. A Muslim businessman will calculate all his business goods/merchandise at the moment the business year ends. If the market value reaches the Nisab, zakat must be paid on it. That is, he will pay 2 parts out of 40. If the value of the goods does not equal the value of the Nisab of gold or silver, there is no zakat on it. The value of business goods will be determined based on the prevailing transaction policies of the business community. The value of necessary furniture/equipment used for the convenience of business will not be included in the business goods. If someone owns land, immovable property, or domestic animals, and subsequently intends to do business with them, the business year will start from when he actually begins business with them. Zakat on debts. Zakat must also be paid on debts. Regarding zakat payment, debts are of 3 types, namely A. Qawi, strong, debt, B. Mutawasit, medium, debt, and C. Da'if, weak, debt. A. Qawi or strong debt. This is debt incurred in exchange for loan money and business goods. This applies even if the debtor acknowledges the debt but becomes bankrupt/insolvent. Or, if the debtor denies the debt, but the creditor is able to present evidence against the denying debtor, this is also a qawi or strong debt. If it is a qawi debt, it becomes obligatory to pay zakat on it when the creditor recovers 40 dirhams. Therefore, whenever he recovers 40 dirhams or an equivalent amount, he will pay 1 dirham as zakat. According to Imam Abu Hanifa, rahmatullahi alayhi, if less than 40 dirhams is recovered like this, it is not obligatory to pay anything on it. According to Imam Abu Yusuf and Imam Muhammad, rahmatullahi alayhima, zakat will be obligatory on the recovered portion, whether the recovered debt is small or large. In the case of qawi debt, the calculation of 1 year will be from when he became the owner of the nisab, not from the time the debt was recovered. Therefore, zakat for the years preceding the recovery of the debt will be obligatory. But paying zakat becomes mandatory for him only after recovery. B. Mutawasit or medium debt. This is debt that is not for business goods, but rather the sale price of daily necessary items, i.e., a house, clothes, food items, etc., which the seller has sold to the buyer and the sale price remains due from the buyer. Zakat does not become obligatory on mutawasit debt. If he recovers the full nisab amount from the sale price, then it becomes obligatory. For example, if the debtor has a debt of 1,000 dirhams and the creditor recovers 200 dirhams from it, then it becomes obligatory for him to pay 5 dirhams as zakat. According to Imam Abu Hanifa, rahmatullahi alayhi, if less than the nisab is recovered, zakat will not be obligatory. According to Imam Abu Yusuf and Imam Muhammad, rahmatullahi alayhima, zakat will be obligatory on the recovered portion, whether the recovered debt is small or large. In the case of mutawasit debt, the calculation of 1 year starts from when he became the owner of the nisab, not from the recovery. Therefore, zakat for the years prior to debt recovery will be obligatory. But paying zakat becomes mandatory for him only after recovery. C. Da'if or weak debt. This is debt that becomes due in exchange for something that is not wealth/property. For example, the wife's mahr, dower, because the husband did not take the mahr from his wife in exchange for any wealth. Dues for divorce, payment from wife to husband, dues from a bequest, waziyah, idati. If someone bequeaths wealth to someone, that wealth is this type of due compromise settlement. Dues from a person convicted of intentional murder and diet, blood money, fall under this category. In the case of da'if debt, paying zakat is not obligatory unless the complete nisab is recovered and 1 year has passed from the time of recovery. Therefore, in the case of da'if debt, zakat for the years prior to recovery will not be obligatory.